First of all, Stephanie, congratulations on the show. It is absolutely amazing. I mean, this show is hilarious, but has a ton of heart. But first question I have for you is the struggle with money, especially coming out of a global pandemic. The struggle with money is such a universal theme. Why does the pursuit of money lend itself so well to such a great comedy premise like Killing It?
I think everyone is pretty much obsessed with money, right? So I think that a lot of people honestly are confused with regards to what the American dream could be.
Right.
Thinking that money is indeed the answer to happiness. I personally don't think it's true. I think it's an illusion. I hope that the show provides good awareness as to where we can find happiness. It's not always through money and the ways to get money. That's not necessarily always the key. Growing up for me, my family was always looking to find a way to make easy money and ended up making things worse. Family, we had stress, we had drama. It actually made it quite harder on our lives. So yeah, that's part of what the TV show talks about. But I think that the love in family and that relationship is really what's important. And that should be the representation of what the American dream is.
I couldn't agree more. Speaking of that, let's talk about your character, Camille, a little bit. She plays Craig's ex. Talk to me about the relationship between Camille and Craig currently, where they're at in the show when it starts.
Well, we see Camille, obviously Craig's ex-wife. They have a teenage daughter who's in the middle of their relationship. If it wasn't for her, then Camille would definitely be done with Craig. But because of their daughter, they both are pulled together to get along with one another. Camille has a tremendous amount of patience, love. She's optimistic with regards to Craig. She believes in him and she's very encouraging and supportive of his dreams, even though he's had many failed attempts at success. She still remains kind to him and forgiving and really optimistic, like I said. And I think that that's great for the character Camille, because I don't know if me personally, I could be as patient as she has been towards Craig. And Craig really appreciates her, all of her patience. I think that she also kind of inspires him in a way. She may feel a bit, weighed down in the fact that she has to provide for the family, but she does bring a level of balance.
Speaking of that, how does Craig's quest for the American dream impact her family's relationship?
It really impacts the family in a stressful way, right? It's very frustrating for Camille, but she tries to remain optimistic and positive. She does love him. Their daughter really looks up to him and admires him. And so really playing with that chemistry and that dynamic, it's very interesting, the relationship between their daughter and Camille and their daughter and her father. It actually adds to the drama as the episodes go on. So.
Absolutely. Now, what was it like working with Craig Robinson to bring your on-screen relationship to life?
Working with Craig was wonderful. It was a really great experience. It was very unexpected. He's so sweet, very open-minded to any of the suggestions that I had with regards to the relationship between Camille and him. And having that space to really be creative, it was so easy to work with him. He had to learn ASL. Some of his lines were in ASL. So we had an ASL consultant on set. And I know it wasn't easy for him, but I appreciate his effort. And it really helped the flow on screen to be much better than it could have been. It was as natural as possible. And that was due to the work that was done behind the scenes. And if it weren't for that, I think it would have been a very awkward interaction. But the fact that he signed, I mean, they were married, right? So sign language is important. You gotta show that. And so he did try, and I think that was great. It helped their dynamic quite a bit.
100%. Now, the American dream is explored through several different characters in unique ways. Craig's has the traditional belief that the American dream is you work hard, you grind, and you'll be rewarded. Can you talk to me a little bit about how your character the American dream is explored through your character?
The American dream through Camille. I would say it's not easy to achieve. And to attain that. There's a lot of struggle, and she hasn't quite achieved it yet. It feels like perhaps there's an invisible wall there that she can't see, but it keeps hitting her. You know, she has a full-time job trying to support her family. She's living in a world full of hearing people, but she is a very strong person. She's independent. I can see that she's a very independent person. She does not need to depend on Craig at all, which is good as we see. But yeah, she's very strong. And I think that her daughter is really the key to why she is persevering and as strong as she is.
I couldn't agree more. Now, the show is a hilarious comedy, but at its heart, it really honors the people that are struggling. And you can empathize a lot with a lot of these characters. Can you describe the comedy and the tone of the series?
This comedy is very unique, extremely unique, very witty. There are so many twists, but everything works out well.
Right.
I mean, come on, all the snakes were there's so many twists, I would say, but it's just a very interesting, and it's not too weird, but it's good at the same time. There are bad things that happen, and there are good things that happen. So it shows life situations that a lot of people are facing now. So I think that with the comedy as well as the real life aspects as well, creates a balance to the tone of the story for sure.
Look, now python hunting is a big part of this show, and I am terrified of snakes, absolutely terrified of snakes. Is there anything you learned about snakes that there's a misconception about snakes for the general audience?
Yes, I actually, prior to filming this, I did not know that in the Florida Everglades, there is a serious issue with the population of python snakes, and that how it's portrayed in the show is very accurate.
Wow.
That there are these contests. You think that people adopt all these cute pythons and they're babies, but they grow to be these very huge animals. And unfortunately, they are thrown out into the wild, and it doesn't quite correlate with the environment in Florida and the ecosystem. So it's a crazy, crazy issue to have for sure. And it's really unfortunate humans have caused this issue, but it is one that they're trying the best to take care of. So it's interesting. It's a comedy, but it brings awareness to what's going on in our ecosystem. So
I couldn't agree more. I had no idea about this, but look, Stephanie, thank you so much for your time. You are fantastic in this show. The show is hilarious, but has a ton of heart. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.